let's try this again. Let's see. This is where you will be. My kit that's old. 2 pairs of non-latex sterile gloves. This could be very interesting. My guy, my table, walls, curtains, ceiling. Behind me, the floor. Let's see. My arms. I'm actually gonna lose my watch. My arms. And yeah, I think that's it. Cool. My guy's still wearing his towel. Knock, knock. Hi. My name's Anne. I'm a nursing student from Kilgore College. What's your name? Awesome. And what's your date of birth? Even better. Well, I'm just gonna clean up my hands for a second. There's no hand sanitizer in this lab, so we're just gonna verbalize. We're gonna verbalize that and the saline solution in water and whatnot for the cleaning portion. We're gonna pretend. So, do you have any questions? Sure. We are going to be changing your dressing and cleaning your trach cannula. Do you have any allergies? Okay. Let me double check your bracelet. And that matches. Excellent. Okay. Let me explain to you what we're going to do first. Like I said, we're going to clean your cannula, we're going to change your dressing. What we're going to do first is I'm going to give a good listen to your lungs, and then I'll get things set up. And as I'm getting things set up, I'm going to have you take some deep, fulfilling breaths. You're not on any supplemental oxygen right now, so we'll just get the oxygen from the air and make sure it's all there, okay? We will breathe deeply and oxygenate. Sound like a plan? Okay. So what I'm going to do first is I am going to pull this down and give a listen. Just breathe normally, okay? We don't need you huffing and puffing too soon. That's no good either. Ready? It's going to be a little bit cold. You having any pain? No? Even better. Okay. And let me bring all of this onto this table so that we don't knock it off, right? Okay. And what we're going to do is I'm going to keep this pulled down so that we don't get it wet, because there's nothing worse than like wet edges. Ugh. But I'm going to put this on you to try to keep the wet off, because there is water involved, well, saline. Okay? non-latex sterile gloves. I'm allergic, but you have no allergies, but we got you covered either way. So, right, and it's floppy anyhow, but you can stay there. Open you, edge, edge. There we go. Perfect. Okay, and now to put on the sterile gloves. This is my favorite part. You taking those deep breaths? Okay. Ordinarily, I'd have done this on a different bedside table, but everything has to stay in the camera shot. There's the thumb. Close enough. There's the thumb. There's the thumb. Yay. See if we can do this without busting the fingers out again. Okay. And that's going to work because it's going to catch our trash. How about that? Okay, so we're keeping the right hand sterile. So, in the meantime, we're going to take out your Nutrik dressing. We are going to take little pipe cleaners, a scrubby brush, Q-tips, and the two gauzes that are stay dry. And they're all on the square. I hope you can see that. And again, we don't have the saline with us, so we're going to just pour it. So I'm going to pour the first one over the gauze that are in here. There's gauze. Pour those onto that. And then I'm going to pour some into put that in there, pour some gauze into there, and then we're going to pour some gauze into there and put those in with the gauze and the scrubby brush in the big one. The pipe cleaners and the other gauzes and the bandage stay out here. And what we're going to start with is I'm going to unlock your cannula, bring it over here, give it a good scrub, give it a good dry, and put it back in. Then you're going to take some nice breaths for me again, and then we're going to take off the band that's going across and leave everything else there. Take off your bandage, clean it really good, dry it, put the new dressing back on, close it back up, and you're good to go. How's that sound? Sound like a plan? Cool. Ready? Okay, here we go. Click, undo, into there. Take this, scrubby, 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 scrub, 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 scrub. Put you there. Pour more over it. Reach in. Dry. 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 We're going to put that back in and lock it. Click. It's in. Yay. Okay. Keeping this hand sterile again because nothing here is sterile anymore. We're going to undo this side. Scooch this down a little bit. Pull this bandage up, that goes there. I'm going to start with the first of the wet gauze. You start above, right? Yeah, so we're going to go scrub, toss, new bandage, new gauze. Scrub, toss. Clean this. Toss. Toss. We're going to dry. Pat, 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 pat. Toss. Pat, 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 pat. Toss. Hold this secure while we put this in. hold that. Will we buckle you back in? Oh, goodness gracious. There we go. Okay. Is that comfy? Okay. Clean up this mess. Do some hand hygiene. Trash. Trash. How you feeling? Okay? Okay. Tuck you back in. Gloves off. Put those into the trash. Hand hygiene. And I document that there was approximately 1 centimeter of exposed cannula underneath. It was not red, it was not inflamed looking, minimal, if any. Discharge noted, patient tolerated it well. He is on room air, and I would note the date and the time that we changed it.